glad to be here. I'm from Torus. My name is Zhen, and I'm here on behalf of Torus, here to share more about how dApps can build their Web3 user experience like Web2. Being a web wallet in the space for quite a while now, Torus has been integrated into quite a few applications, and we see integrations, many different types of integrations with different dApps in the ecosystem. And the number one thing that most dApps and all dApps actually share in common is they really just want one thing: to increase their user base and get more people using their platform in general. Today, you see quite a few different dApps, and most of the applications either use MetaMask or some version of web wallets like Torus and others for their interactions for the most part. MetaMask is awesome, and these web wallets are awesome, but all their permission structures are also, for the most part, rather restrictive. Every transaction requires a full confirmation, which is needed for sure for high-value interactions, but not everything needs to be exactly in the same way. The UX in general is not best for a new user. As an application, you generally want, or you need your application, and you want your need to use your application to be higher than the hurdles to using the application. And the difference in that is basically your virality factor, and which determines how your app can organically grow. So for current web wallets, the hurdles of having to validate each and every transaction for users imposes the fact that they have to understand several cryptographic basic concepts like seed phrases, gas price, and so on. So as an app, you could kind of wait till people are used to that type of experience and the mainstream audience is familiar with that, but that could take a decent amount of time, years, depending on the demographic that we're talking about. So this begs the question of how we can ease this permission structure for both wallets as well as dApps. We can choose to implement limits, perhaps, a threshold or a daily spending limit, but then how do you value the values of transactions? And how do you determine the value of things that aren't ETH? Should a particular token be freely traded, or are tokens, are signatures with certain prefixes allowed? What are the restrictions on signatures in general? It's hard to find a balance and a compromise between security for user experience, and it's hard to impose permissions overall as a wallet on top of dApps. One size fits all. So there's another class of applications that we're starting to see a little bit more of in general. These classes of applications don't tend to use other external web wallets or MetaMask and stuff. Instead, they kind of build their own authentication or key management infrastructure for themselves. Examples of this include Good Dollar, Skyweaver, Audius, and we're starting to see a lot more of them. Others out there too. These guys derive, because they handle their own key management flow, they derive their own set of permissions which fit their use case and application. It's a much better user experience, and a permission structure that is implemented by them, therefore just caters to them. You just need to try out any one of these applications to see how seamless their integrations are. And the apps you actually would introduce to your parents and friends and expect them to be familiar with the user experience, indistinguishable from a typical Web2 app that you get from the App Store or like on the web. These apps are built on the philosophy of incremental value and incremental onboarding. Instead of trying to onboard a user immediately, making them go through the hurdle of learning themselves and deterring the first wave of users through that hurdle of users, we onboard users more into the crypto ecosystem as the investment value or commitment of the ecosystem grows as well, lowering the barrier of entry and thus increasing the virality of these applications in general. A large part of what allows this is the revocability of the key management and ownership architectures around ownership of basically assets of the dApp or interactions with the dApp. And this can be done via several ways. It can be done via making keys disposable, either via key access structures, smart contract wallet, multi-sigs, and the list goes on. The numbers have shown for themselves. Audius, we just spoke earlier, has 200K monthly active listeners. Skyweaver is super exciting, and there are a lot of the top applications in the space which are following this permissions flow. Today, the Torus wallet is an implementation of the Web3 interface. Signing structures and UI are combined with several core modules to interact and retrieve keys from the Torus network in general, all whilst remaining non-custodial in the front end via several mechanisms implemented in the core modules, including integrity hashes, the trustless to provide that trustless front-end context, a service workflow to ensure that ID tokens aren't revealed, commit reveal scheme and interactions with the nodes, and other security features which are essential to that. What we've done is we've basically abstracted these core modules to make them accessible to any application to support these kind of particular applications which want to implement their own authentication and permissions flow. This extends the DKG setup and functionality to them, allowing them to stay non-custodial, delegating and splitting key management access, be it on web, mobile, or desktop. And it allows them to basically do distributed key generation as a service. This way of handling keys is quite flexible. It allows them naturally to set up their own UX flows. It is compatible with other layer 2 solutions, be it state channels like Connext or whatever flavor of optimistic rollup that you want to implement with, or like scalability solutions like Scale, Plasma, or whatever. It's also blockchain agnostic if you are a dApp who wants to support multiple chains, not just Ethereum. And it's completely open source too. So do get in. We're super excited, but for this, we've been working with this integration or this form of integration for 1 to 2 months now, and it's really exciting to see the first few applications built on top of it. Do reach out if you're keen on hearing more about how you can integrate either the Torus wallet or this new form of integration. And definitely do also check out ethereal.tor.us to claim your event token. This is the Ethereal event token, and you guys can experience the Torus wallet for yourselves as well. It's been a pleasure speaking with you guys, and thank you very much.